Hey everybody, you probably just came from my introduction to singing and playing video. This is my exercise video, and the exercises are broken down into two categories. One is without triplets and one is with triplets. So one's going to be easier than the other, okay? On top of that, I've broken those exercises down even more into an intermediate version and an advanced version, okay? We're going to discuss the intermediate version right now. I'm going to give you an interactive metronome that counts at the same note duration that you should be speaking. So as you hear the metronome clicking, that's how fast you should be speaking. Okay? It's a guide track. It's the reason why I created this is because I don't want amateurs to come into this with high hopes and then just get their butt kicked. Like, I want to give you guys some guides, some hope to keep up. Our end game is not to keep up, by the way. Our end game is to be confident and lead, but just getting into this, keeping up is the first step, okay? On top of that, I added the drum machine I talked about in the last video. The drum machine's just going to go a 𝗑𝗫𝗓𝗑 beat, slower than that at 80 BPM. 𝗑𝗫𝗓, right? Except the kick note, the kick drum, whether it's something like that, the kick drum is what you should be playing your instrument to, whatever instrument you have in your hands, okay? Metronome, speak to the metronome. Kick drum, play your instrument to the kick drum. Your end game exercising right now is not to follow. It's to handshake. It's to interlock. It's to collaborate. It's to feel and join, and whatever adjectives I could spurt out, okay? When you leave exercises and you go to band practice, hopefully you learning these skills, you will be the leader. People follow you, okay? Or you have an insanely pro drummer and you put your trust in him and you play on top of him. That should actually be your end game goal. But until then, you are the leader, and you need to train enough where you can spot the weak points in your band. Maybe you're the one that's leading, but people aren't keeping up, whoever they are. You need to be able to spot those things and produce them and explain issues with them. This training's just gonna let you survey all the rhythms going on around you when you get used to polyrhythms. If you can perform polyrhythms, which is kind of what we're doing, you'll also be able to identify the problems with them in your band and produce your band. There's so much important stuff about this, okay? The difference between the intermediate and the advanced: intermediate has complete guide tracks for both speaking and playing, and the advanced has none. You need to be motivated to self-critique yourself because no one's got an eye on you. As I say in my inner clock video, it's essential that you record yourself and you take the time to watch that or listen to that back and make sure you're on, because if you're just kind of having fun in the moment and you're like, yeah, I got it, there's really no proof. Recording yourself and playing back your progress is really the ultimate witness to your progress, okay? So I'm going to play this first exercise, and I'll talk to you only for a second, I promise, after it, and then we'll move on, okay? 1, 2, 3, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... That was an acceptable performance. If you're playing that well, then you're off to a fantastic good start. Bring it further. If I had practiced that a bit before I recorded that, I probably could have got it down to machine precision. And if you're up to that, like real machine precision, then challenge yourself even more and turn the metronome off, record yourself, and see how tight you can make it only using your inner clock as a reference. That would be a healthy goal if you're already at a fantastic performance level with this. So now I'll give you the exercises. Here's the intermediate exercise. It'll be followed by the advanced exercise for what I just played, and then we'll move on to the triplets exercise, okay? I hope those exercises are going well with you. Now we're going to introduce the pesky eighth note triplet. If you are new to eighth note triplets in general, this might turn into a big roadblock for you. And I just want to give you some encouragement before we get into it, which is, if you're not used to mixing triplet feels into your straight feels, it's just going to feel like you're getting punched in the face. These hard left and right turns, they jolt you around. Try not to fight with them. Try to open your soul and engulf them and understand that they're here to help, and that you have to work with them. Don't try to dominate them. Just try to be with them. I know that sounds pretty hippie-esque to say, but that's what it feels like when you get a hold of them and perform with them properly. And so this is going to be challenging for me. I actually already recorded the exercises, so I know I got my butt kicked. But this is going to be challenging for me, and you'll see me struggle a little bit. But you watching my progress should inspire you of where you need to get to, okay? And then hopefully you will even take it even further. So be patient if you're new to triplets. They are very important. Once you start getting them down and mastering them, they're gonna change your composing and producing career forever. And when you listen to music, you're gonna start going, there's a triplet that you're gonna realize you've been surrounded by them your entire life. It's just you never identified them, defined them, So without further ado, I'm going to just play the next exercise for you. You can watch me do it just so you have an idea of what you're in for. And then I'll have just a short comment for you afterwards, and then you can attempt it on your own, okay? Good luck. 1, 2, 3, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Oh, lit 2, oh, lit 3, oh, lit 4, oh, lit 1, oh, lit 2, oh, lit 3, oh, lit 4, oh, lit 1, E and a 2, E and a 3, E and a 4, E and a 1, E and a 2, E and a 3, E and a 4, E and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Oh, lit 2, oh, lit 3, oh, lit 4, oh, lit 1, oh, lit 2, oh, lit 3, oh, lit 4, oh, lit 1, E and a 2, E and a 3, E and a 4, E and a 1, E and a 2, E and a 3, E and a 4, E and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and whew. Yeah, I just watched my performance right now. It's that last two measures, It's interesting where I'm speaking straight notes but playing triplets. That's tough. If I do the opposite, for some reason my clock has that. I must have done that a lot in the past, back when I was playing a lot, like no problem. But those last two measures kicked my butt. And when I recorded this video, I didn't just do a one-take Jake. When I got to that end, I was like, oh gosh. I sat down and grilled at it. I spent 2 minutes on it. I took a break. Then I spent 2 minutes on it. I was trying to use accelerated learning techniques. You should watch my accelerated learning video to help optimize your practice time. Don't do this for hours. It's not worth it. Do it for minutes at a time. I'm at a level where when I'm playing, this is a Star Wars analogy. When I feel a disturbance in the Force, I have disconnected from my inner clock, and I am now mission critical, thinking about what I should be doing instead of feeling. And that's exactly what happened in those last two measures. And so when you develop your inner clock and have a good pocket, you detach consciously and your body takes over. This is just a metaphor, a way to look at it. And when my consciousness goes to my playing and starts examining it so I can play it correctly, that means my inner clock has checked out. I'm not trained well enough in that area, and I should be doing training in that area. And for beginners, they might feel that anxiety of keep up and critical thinking all the time, and that's okay. You have to pay your dues and get past that. But if you're an advanced player, don't be in denial. When you run into challenging moments where you're not just feeling it, you're not breathing easy, all that comfort and flow is gone and you're examining, that's your inner clock checking out. And that's an area that you need to work in. Just because you, like for me in those last two measures, just because I played it well enough to pass the test, that definitely was not an A+, that was a C. And that is actually not good enough for me to take the stage or go to band practice and command a full bandwidth. I should have that down. The only reason why I'm giving you this explanation, because you need to be able to monitor yourself. You do. Because if you just kind of whack through it and go, I did the exercise, give me a trophy, give me a participation trophy, that is not what this is about. This is about getting it done right, putting the practice in up front, and then when you got it, you can move on to the next thing. There's one other thing, breathing. When you count, we want to sing and play, right? So we need to breathe. And when you sing lyrics, you may not be doing 16th notes all day long, but you're going to run into moments where you're not going to have the opportunity to breathe often, right? And I'm not one to teach voice, but I can teach how to breathe while singing. So I'll do a quick side video on how to breathe, because I'm trying to count in time, I'm trying to play in time, and I've got a third thought about where do I fit my breaths. And I mean, this is a lot of autopilot stuff that needs to happen naturally. So if that's an issue for you, watch my how to breathe video. I've just thought of making it right now. I'll name it something close to that, okay? I mean, really, these videos are really just apple box speeches for me, just trying to get you into a motivated mindset, because all we're doing is eating vegetables. And if we only think about what the vegetables taste like, it's going to be an unpleasant experience and you could give up. We need to think about the benefits of eating vegetables, not what they taste like. So we go into this with a positive attitude and we get it done correctly, okay? So that's the scoop. Don't half-ass it. If you're a beginner and you're getting dissuaded, trust me, it's worth it. Rhythm training is very much worth it. If you're dreaming about being on stage, commanding a band, or whatever your fantasies are, and they involve, professional timing, try to get through this, okay? John from Shootie School, wishing the best for you, okay? Rock on.